Hi guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to make a video about repairing a Minn Kota side imaging trolling motor. I recently just did some upgrades to my boat. I added a new Helix 9 Gen 4 Mega down imaging unit, and I also installed the new Humminbird Mega 360 transducer. Right now I've got the old trolling motor on here, the old Ultrex. Had some problems at startup, so I had to, after going through tech support, I had to pull the new Ultrex off of the boat and put my old one on there for a couple fishing trips that I went on. But now I've got everything set up here in my little shop here. Basically brand new motor. It's got the built-in Humminbird side imaging transducer on it, and you know, when I got this motor, what it was doing was it wasn't connecting to my graphs, and it wasn't connecting to the remote control. It really just kept beeping, just like when you first turn on an Ultrex, you hear the beep beep. It was just doing that just over and over and over again. It was driving me insane, and it wouldn't stay connected long enough to get the update to go through it. I called the tech support people. We talked about it. The woman I had originally talked to, she sent me a new controller. I'll show you here. She sent me a new controller. Put that thing on here. Put the boat back on the water. No change. Same problem. Called tech support back again, and hoping we could just continue on troubleshooting it, figure out what was wrong. And the guy on the second call, he said just take it to a boat dealership and have an authorized Minn Kota technician look at it, figure out what's wrong with it, and fix it. So he told me where I could take it, and I just really didn't want to do that. I wanted to fix it myself. I've had a whole career of fixing electronic things with transducers, things like that. I've been through 4 years of college to fix an air conditioner. I'm not an authorized Minn Kota technician, but we're going to see. They sent me a new coiled up cable here. And today what I'm going to try to do is replace this coiled up cable from the controller head, and this comes all the way down to the foot. There's a little more to the story. So after I had originally changed out that controller, I found a splice in the wire, and that's why they sent me the coiled cord assembly, because there was, from the factory, they had nicked a wire and then put some wire insulation over it, and that was the cause of the whole problem all along. And I'll show you guys once I tear into it where the splice, where they nicked the wire up at the factory, and they obviously sent it out the door, and then a lot of thousands of dollars later, I've got it here at my house, and I'm having to fix a brand new product from the manufacturer. No big deal. Hey, they sent me stuff, great customer service, shipped me parts in the mail right away. So if I can get this thing fixed myself, hopefully you guys can learn a little bit about this and see how this repair goes. If you ever screw up this cable, I didn't see any other videos on YouTube about this repair, so I'm going to go ahead and put one up for you guys to see today. But again, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to run my intro clip, and when we come back, I'll have all this set up, and we're going to tear this thing apart and fix it. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to try to start this. Alright, to get started, we've got 4 screws here in the head of this thing. I'll just pull those out. So, okay. Here's what we have. Move this thing around so you guys can see. Now here is the controller, and this is the splice. See where my fingers are right here? This is where I found the splice from the factory, right underneath this electrical tape. Of course, I put electrical tape on there thinking that it might hold connection and work for a little bit, but no, it didn't. You'll see just the smallest little nick in this wire. Maybe they pinched it as well. It's really hard to see, but that wire there has been torn open, and that's the problem. It's very hard to see. But that's the whole problem right there. I would have probably never found that, except for they had a piece of wire insulation over it, which made it kind of stand out. And it looked like there was a little something going on there, which kind of made me focus in on that. And then I found just the littlest nick in that wire, which is the whole problem. So, looks like we have this little brown wire connection here. They put some shrink just tear this off of here. Let's see if I can get this to unplug. Looks like some blue tape of some sort. It's not liquid. It's not shrink tight. It's not Let's see what's up here. Looks like, according to this, I probably should find these type of connectors underneath this thing. Looks like you can slide these blue wires back. This blue shielding, I should say, slides back to expose the connectors. I hope you guys are seeing a good view of this. All right. Now, there's a very breakable piece I could see right here. You want to take these screws off and remove this little plastic piece before you break it, because that's what's holding this grommet into the top part of the motor there. Let's see if we can. And then my old trolling motor, I don't know why or how, but this actually broke. It didn't affect anything. I just noticed at one point or another it broke. Okay, so it looks like that little part there. And this is going to be there. It's going to push. All right. Okay. Oh, well, so far so good. Now we have made it out of the controller head, and we're to this portion here. Put this stuff back. Now, I've never torn one of these apart before, guys. This is my first time. You might be able to tell that I've never done this before. So, let me reposition this camera. Huh. Okay. I got this little clip here. Okay. That came off. Okay, looks like there's a couple of screws in here. This one. So then, that once I take this out, it's in there. Hey man. This is a lot less complicated than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so now what we've got, guys, you've got your steering cable in there. You got your little wire to the motor probably, and then it looks like a couple more screws to get this disassembled. We'll jump over here. Let's get this taken apart. Okay, so that's what that's looking like in there. Got a wire tie here. Cut this off. Got another wire tie. Really hard to see, but there's a couple screws, one there, one on the back side that looks like we'll take that cover off, and then I should be able to pull this wires out of there. Let's see here. Let's see here. Ah, yes. I don't think you guys can see in there, but there's where we're at. Getting our cable worked out of there's another little wire tie to cut off. Alright guys, so I got everything disconnected. I just gotta pull these wires through and install the new ones. So I gotta get in here. Let's see here. Do this thing over here. Okay. One wire. The red wire, the black wire. Alright guys, next thing I want to do is take off this plastic thing so I can feed my new wires through there. And to take this off, you're going to have to loosen your cable, and you do that by counterclockwise turns here. Loosen your cable up, your steering cable, and once that steering cable is loose, you loosen that screw, this steering cable will loosen up, and then you can pull that off of the shaft, and then we can remove this. Show you guys. I'm just going to tape this up because I don't want it unfurling while I'm screwing with all this stuff, so just keep that the way that that was, because what I'm going to have to do is disconnect all this stuff here. Alright, we got the freaking wire out of there. Alright. Jeez, man. There's my old cable. Here I'm putting the fish tape through the wire jacket. I'm getting ready to pull the coil cord assembly through the wire jacket, and then after this I'm going to pull the fish tape the opposite way and get the steering cables through there. And then once I have the coiled cord assembly and the steering cables in the jacket, I'm going to go ahead and fish the motor wire through, and I'll have all the wires in the jacket and I can start to connect everything. The steering cables go through there pretty easily. They're somewhat rigid, and you might not even need fish tape to get them through there, but I'm just using one. It seemed to work out for me. Once you get all the wires and cables in the jacket, you really just got to take your time to work it in there all the way so that the harness that goes over the wire jacket can fit the grommet into a slotted part of the harness.
Okay.
So just work it in there real good. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm just trying to get the grommet far enough in that it will slip into these slots in the harness. This harness at the foot pedal end is a lot easier to run the wires in. And you just got to make sure that the wire jacket goes all the way into the harness as far as it will go, because you're going to need to put a zip tie and then slide the harness up over the zip tie. And that's just the way it came apart. So you just want to make sure you get all your wires in there the same way. This repair seems to be pretty much the same process you would need to go through to replace a broken steering cable. You're going to have to disassemble it the same way. You're going to have to remove the steering cable. You're going to have to fish all the stuff through the jacket. And so learning how to do this coiled cord assembly, I'm also learning how to change the steering cable if that ever is something that needs to be done. The steering cables are on some black plastic barbed connectors, and they both poke into this little angled metal that I have that goes into the harness here. So I'm just getting this steering cables poked through there, get some screws in this to get this harness finalized here. I can put it back. Well, I'm down to one camera at this point because my other camera kept overheating. I'm just having some camera issues. These GoPros like to overheat when it gets hot, and you know, it depends on what modes you're trying to run them in. They shut down, and when they turn off, if you're in the middle of recording, you usually lose the footage. So this is about to cut out on me here, and but the repair's pretty much done. You know, I've got everything put back together. Just kind of doing the last little steps here. And but one thing I'm not going to be able to show you guys is putting the steering spindle back on the shaft, which is not a real big deal at all. I mean, it took just a couple minutes, maybe not even that. I got it here in my hand, and just the cable goes on each side of it. You spin it around. Just the cables are not supposed to cross. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I did actually have something else happen here where the cable came off of the foot pedal. That's why it's got so much play in it. So I got to take the bottom plate off the foot pedal again, and I got to put the cable where it goes in the foot pedal, and then come back up to the top of it and connect it to the spindle. But you're going to need to use that tensioning screw, which I'll go over here in a little bit. Hey guys, here's all the tools I use to do this repair. Most important tool I think is going to be the fish tape, and you know, that Phillips head screwdriver. Not a whole lot of tools needed to do this job, but I got everything connected. All the wires are connected, wire ties are on there, heat shrink is on there, and just about to button all this stuff up. A couple things that I wanted to mention about this repair. Right here you're going to have these red and black wires. They're going to need to be twisted 2 or 3 times to eliminate any interference between your graphs and your trolling motors. So that's an important little detail there. Make sure you twist those wires 2 or 3 times before you connect them. And I guess something else to mention, I might have not shown this in the other video. I didn't have the best camera angles, but this is your steering cable, and the tension of that cable is this screw on the bottom of the foot pedal. So this screw right here, a Phillips screw, you loosen and tighten that to loosen and tighten this steering cable, and that's what's going to allow you to pull this spindle off there and to get it back on there and have the proper tension. So, but the repair went pretty smooth. You know, this really, for me, never having ever done this before, it took about 3 hours, and that was, you know, hot Texas day. It's a lot hotter in this little metal shed I got, and I think if I had to do this repair again, it might take closer to 2 hours. But the most time consuming part of this job, I mean the whole job itself, is just pulling that wire through this wire jacket. And that wire jacket has so much stuff in it. It's not, you got to kind of be patient, and you got to work it through there gently and not tear anything else up in the process of trying to fix this. As you'll see in the video, I ended up having to fish tape this thing 3 different ways to get the steering cables, the coiled cable through there, and then the motor wire run through there. So there's probably other ways to do it, but if I had to do it again, I think I could get through that part a lot faster. So I'm gonna start to wrap this up, and I'll get this thing installed on the boat. We'll see how it works. Now, I hope this video helps if you're working on your trolling motor, you got problems, or you're getting ready to crack into it and you just want some more details about what it looks like in there. Shoot me any comments, any questions, and I'll try to respond, get back to them. I'll tell you, they do have very good tech support, so reach out to tech support. They should get you set up right. But thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate all the subscribers. If you hadn't already subscribed, please click the subscribe button and like this video. It would help a lot. I'm trying to get some more videos out, but thanks everybody for watching. Good luck, and I'll see you out there.